Hi everyone. So week 3, let's start. So this discussion we had to talk about um, what we learned about the planning stage of our school counseling, guiding counseling programs. Um, and I know every school district is different, um, as well as every state, but we're in Texas. Unless you're like me and eventually we'll move to Florida, they probably will have a different one in Florida. Different like kind of guidelines, but probably similar that we have to follow. Um, so I'm just gonna start. I thought this was interesting, and I feel like it's like the T test of counseling. I guess like it's just something you follow that would help you work and be effective. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes. Um, so we had to think about a change that we wanted what to do in our class. Sorry, it's already late. Sorry. So if I'm just like rambling, I'm sorry. Okay. So let me just start. What would that change be? So what change would I do? Okay. So I was just trying to think of different changes that I've seen where teachers in my school have kind of been more resistant and hesitant to like the admin. And then I was thinking, I thought of for example, the TIA, and and then I thought of benchmarking and who's using the library, who's using their classrooms, who's using the computer lab, and then I also thought of the dismissal routine and parent contact logs. Those are like some things that I've seen um, where teachers have just been more hesitant and vocal about what they like and what they don't like and what has worked for them for the years they've been there. Because there's teachers that have worked in that school longer than you have been counseling or teaching. But I just tried to think for this example, I just tried to think more of like something that actually is the counselor specifically, and that's more towards the counselor role. And I just thought of just the counseling sessions that they have in um, that counselors do. So, for example, many schools don't have a counseling room where it's just like a specific room for the counselor to have her counseling sessions. Not specifically like one on one, but like maybe group and classroom sessions. Like for example, like when the students go to music, they go to the music room. When they go to the when a group goes to the SLE teacher, they go to the SLE teacher's room. When they go to speech, they go to the speech room and social worker room, things like that. The counselor has an office in my school, but she has not ever had like a counseling room. This year, she finally had one, but we have a lot of students. Our school's growing a lot, so they had to use that room. Um, but let me not ramble. But anyways, that's what I decided to choose um, for. Um, so I can see how this happens. I can see how this would be a change would be okay. That's where I was going, is that if the counselor doesn't have a room, she's going to have to use the teacher's classroom to do her sessions. And I know a lot of teachers don't like giving up their classroom for conference time, and that's one. And then two, some teachers don't like other people are in their classroom. They don't like them touching their things. So that would be another one. And I feel like this would fall under element 2, time allocations. Um, Figuring out the schedules of the rotation. If you're going to make a rotation schedule, okay, rotation A, I'll see this class and this class. And then rotation B, I'll see the next 2 classes in 5th grade. So maybe things like that. Okay, let me go to the next question. What conditions would you need for this change to take effect or for the idea to stick? Um, I think the conditions that the counselor would have to look at are the program balance. How am I, the school counselor, going to effectively balance and organize my time to differentiate lesson plans on a specific topic or a theme based on the various grade level needs? Oh my gosh, I sound so monotone. I'm so sorry. It's the end of the day and my son is sleeping now, but okay. And then the next part is, what resistance would you anticipate and how do you foresee being able to combat these resistances? So I did kind of mention it already, where the teachers don't like people in their classroom. They don't like to give up their conference time. Technically, they don't have to give up their conference time because they could, one, either leave the classroom with their laptop. I do that a lot because my students are in pre-K. So I always have to leave my classroom when the counselor or the librarian go in there, or they don't go to PE, and I'm like, I have to leave my class and the assistant stays with them. But that would be one way. And I just think it's about being able to effectively communicate with people. There could be lots of tension, and it's just being able to manage and set apart your feelings and things like that, for that. Um, so yes, I had mentioned this already, where I would create the different rotation schedules. That's how I would try to combat this resistance, how I would try to work around and give teachers a break. Okay, this week I won't go into your classroom, but next week I will, and then and again in another week. And let me do the next part. Okay, what data would you need in order to support the plan you collect? How would you go about collecting it? Okay, I think for this scenario, it's a little different than like data of taking data from parents and the school community, and I think this is more about just surveying the teachers in your school, the staff, like staff, because you have to work around also the music teacher schedule. You have to work around the librarian schedule. You have to work around the PE teachers, the PE coaches schedule. So you have to work around their schedule too as well, and the rotations. So you have to think of those too when you're planning. You can't just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go there, because then no one's gonna like you because you're just doing whatever you want and you're not thinking of everyone and you're not being a team player. So I think it's just sending out a survey. I think a survey like a Google form or Google doc would be like better, because instead of asking, because if you just ask them in person, you're just gonna forget about it with all the things in your head, or it's gonna get lost in your stack of papers. But I think that doing like an informal or just a casual survey where they can fill out their thoughts on it, and then you can create like um like a little, either a spreadsheet or like a little display with charts, of visual charts and stuff, and you can see, okay, this is what everyone liked, this is what everyone prefers, and then you can just go about from there um, to make the schedule or decide how you would implement with that data that you gathered with that survey. But yes, so that's what I think for this, and I'm excited to hear everyone's, and thank you for listening. See you next week.